What's this? A newbie reviews Elder Scrolls Online, and here in this thumbnail it says, this game is trash. So someone's like hating on Elder Scrolls Online that has tried it. Okay, that's an interesting game review. Let's have a look at this one actually.
I'm tired of people thinking I'm some kind of joke.
My whole life, all I wanted
Is to make up new words to a song that already exists.
I wonder what he hates about the game.
Well, you should do that then.
What the heck?
Oh, my little hungry one, open up a package of my banana.
Dude, I've got chills.
What?
Put it in.
The intro is actually really nice of the game, especially like the High Isle one, this one.
Well, hi, my media individuals. I humbly welcome you to today's video. In this video, I want to attempt to convey my rookie experience with Elder Scrolls Online, or as you programmers call it, ESO. But before we do, I want to let you guys know that you can join our Discord in the description below to keep me and my process meats in your heart forever. Now, without further delay, let's get into it, you handsome devils. Here we go. The moment you've been waiting for about 2 to 3 minutes now. Drum roll, please. Welcome to Elder Scrolls Online, a not-so-kind replica of the Oblivion and Skyrim series.
This one, no bueno. This one, I'm confident.
You know, it's like interesting, and I've heard this a couple of times by like people that are not really liking ESO so much, and that's mostly because they expect Elder Scrolls Online to be just like Skyrim or like Oblivion. But the thing about like Elder Scrolls Online is it's an MMO, it's not a single player RPG, so like the way it's designed is definitely differently. Like, sure, there's like a lot of good story and stuff, but it has also in mind that there are like a lot of players playing on one server at the same time, right? It's like a multiplayer game, so it's kind of different from your single player experience that is just purely story driven, of course.
Replica of the Oblivion.
But it says a good
Skyrim
story
series.
though, like don't get me wrong, but
This one, no bueno. This one, I'm confident.
Now, before I receive the much anticipated hate for this video, I want to remind you guys that this is a newbie's review of the game. Heck, I haven't even completed my first dungeon yet. But hey, I guess that's why you're here. Because at some point, you might have felt as I did when you started ESO. A little lonely, a little battle hungry for the classic MMO experience, but with a medieval fantasy feel to it. Now, to be honest, when I first started, I was a bit confused since I haven't played an MMORPG for a good while. I
Okay.
even skipped the tutorial like a hardcore gamer would and tried to learn how to play. So, I started my journey in a mystical place called Vardenfell. And fair warning to you viewers, but I'm about to butcher every single name in this game. I'm sorry. It was a slow start, I'm not gonna lie to you. My girlfriend and I had a hard time picking up what everything did and how all the mechanics worked, but in time we prevailed. We learned the basics of combat first, as anyone would. You have your spells and your physical attacks you can dish out to your not so friendly opponents while dancing on their corpses.
you should zoom out more. That's like almost first person. I wouldn't play like that.
The difficulty of combat was easy.
Like, if he played like that, of course he doesn't get a good experience. You don't freaking zoom in all the way in on your character. Like, either you go first person, like, completely, or you zoom at least a bit out so you see what the heck is happening around you. Like, why does he have this kind of, like, he's almost first person, but he isn't. Like, what?
Opponents while dancing on their corpses.
That's not how you play. I mean, he's new to the game, okay? So, maybe he didn't know. But yeah, there is actually a first person. But it sucks. I always zoom out.
Combat was easy. I don't think I remember the last time I had this much fun dominating the enemy. Now, I was a Nordic Templar. My job, as I knew it, was to rush into battle headstrong like a dummy and hit everything around me. And oh, did I deliver on that dummy part. Because not knowing anything about the game really hindered me at first. I'd be so far down a side quester's throat that I couldn't even progress anymore through them because it got so hard. That aside, I went back to the roots and continued to serve my Lord Vivek to help heal him from a not-so-friendly foe. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it because, being the cinematic plot genius that I am, I saw it coming. However, let's get to my complaints. And oh, you're going to have a good time with this one. Oh no, he's about to trash on the gathering.
Oh, he does that first
And how
dungeon.
the inventory is too small for a free player. Hell
Wait,
yeah,
why
I'm
just
gonna
two?
trash on that. It's terrible for a new player. Let me tell you why though. At some point, I'm going to make a game. And I've been learning little by little into game development. Let me tell you, every game developer will make sure that their game isn't too frustrating because they don't want to lose their customer, which is the player playing that game.
True, that's
yeah,
true.
Sure, some games are meant to be frustrating, like Elden Ring and the Dark Souls games.
Yeah, because they are very difficult. But here often comes the problem actually when it comes to like gaming. Like I see this a lot with different games. It's not just ESO. I see this even with World of Warcraft these days. Like stuff has gotten way too casual friendly and way too simple and easy. If you level up a character in WoW Classic right now and then after several hours of leveling a character, you actually hop on Retail WoW and you level their character, you see exactly what I mean. In WoW Classic, you have to be careful. You pull 1 or 2 mobs at a low level, you're gonna be fine. You pull 4 mobs, you die. In Retail, you pull 5 mobs, you still have an easy time. And that's the thing, like, I feel like gaming companies, they have such a hard time these days to find the balance between appealing to players that have a bit of more experience and those that are new to a game, right? And they don't find this middle ground. They always either overdo it, make it too hard, like you see with Elden Ring, and like newbies, like people that just play the game, some get frustrated, they quit because it's too difficult, or they make it simple, like in Elder Scrolls Online and Retail WoW, where you level a character and it's just way too easy from early on. Like, I actually feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I think WoW Classic has probably like one of the best difficulty and simplicity balances, like this kind of middle ground from all the games, MMOs I've played. Like I wish, in my opinion, every single, even modern MMO has a difficulty of WoW Classic when it comes to early game and leveling. Like I think they were like really perfect and they really hit the mark with that, like when it comes to difficulty. Because it wasn't frustrating. It wasn't super difficult, but it was a bit difficult from early game on. Or like what is also really good, but that's probably because I put it actually on medium difficulties now, and this is not an MMO, but Hogwarts Legacy. I actually love the difficulty in that because we do sometimes have like the need to use potions and we fall low at times, but we can still clear content, but we have to be concentrated. And this is how a game should feel, where you need to at least concentrate for a bit. If you don't, you die. And ESO, wow, you cannot concentrate at all and you still win. That's the problem.
I don't believe for 1 second that ESO was meant to be annoying. For example, earlier I talked about how I'm gonna.
It's not even a full group. Just 2 people for a dungeon, and he kills
Imagine
stuff.
you have 1 iron ore to mine in order to complete a quest or to craft that sword you've been wanting because it simply looks cool. Too bad. An angry e-girl that has extreme daddy issues just passed you and stole all the iron in that area because she knows exactly where all of it spawns.
Oh. Maybe that's a bot actually. Like we have bots in ESO too. WoW we have bots too, of course. That's a bot. Wait, hold on. That's the same person, right? What's the name? Jimbo something. Jimbo Slice, yes? And then there's like Jimbo Slice again here, right? Yeah, that's the same person. That could be a bot. There are many in ESO.
Wait.
Yo, that's a bot.
Why aren't materials that you have to gather for crafting not shareable across different players in an area? I was actually so confused that I looked it up, and some of the suggestions to fix this was to actually log on at times where your server, North America or Europe,
is underpopulated.
I actually don't see the point in it, no matter how realistic they want to make their game, because this game is anything but realistic.
They should respawn faster.
Some is shareable in a given area, but it's randomized to everyone's account. That was a major setback for me because I was trying so hard to like the way I was playing the game, which was pretty passive at first, not gonna lie to you. Eventually, I got the hang of combat and looting through the main quest of Vardenfell, and I was amazed at how much loot it was giving me, honestly. The story of Vardenfell is pretty good, at least, from a new player's perspective, so I urge you newbies to get out there and have some fun with it. You become a servant of Lord Vivek, an ancient god that has been around for who knows how long. He's a part of a tribunal which contains 3 gods, but I'm just going to focus on Lord Vivek since we're very close friends.
Yeah, they use the Heart of Loken to become
snarky
gods.
At first, but when he realizes his godly energy is
okay,
being
I shouldn't
sapped
spoil
from him,
much.
He becomes a bit of a drama queen and begs the player to help him stop the madness. And so, you set out on your journey to find the culprit, and it wasn't sneaky at all. But you'll still have fun with the story, so that's one of the good parts of ESO. The story and the dialogue of the game is very vast to a new player such as myself, so I'll give them that. But some mechanics are very questionable, such as the inventory scheme they play. I know, it's an MMO, you healthy, well-organized, meaty person. I shouldn't have expected much. This is where I have a field day with the marketing and business side of the game, though. Look, the game is decent, but why do you have to charge people to enjoy it further than 2 feet into one story arc? What I'm talking about is the inventory space situation. And trust me,
yeah.
I know what they're doing. It's just business, it's nothing personal. I say hooey.
That's true. I didn't have ESO Plus before, and I always had no inventory space. I ran out immediately. And I had to, also because of the crafting ingredients, because if you pick up like certain materials, like you pick up some iron or something, a lot of wood that you cut while questing and stuff, like your inventory gets full super fast. So you kind of like need at the end game, like maybe not necessary you can also have like a lot of gold and just increase your bank and inventory space by constantly going to the pack merchant. But you pick up so many crafting ingredients and stuff that you run out of space if you don't have ESO Plus. If you get ESO Plus, you have an infinite amount of crafting materials that you can store in your crafting bag that you unlock with ESO Plus. And it's kind of like forcing almost the end game player, especially if you want to make a lot of gold and get rich in this game as well, to like go for ESO Plus. Otherwise you miss out on a lot of opportunity, and sometimes like you have to actually let end like items or notes, you have to ignore them and just pass them by, because you know if you pick up a few things your inventory is full again. And I'm pretty sure this is on purpose. It's pretty obvious, so more people actually go for ESO Plus, what gives the company of course more cash. But that's the thing, like, but you have like also similar issues with like other MMOs. Like the monetization of a lot of games these days is very nasty. Like a lot of especially free-to-play games are actually not free-to-play, it's just an illusion. You actually need to invest money to have a true end game. Like look at Lost Ark for example. Like it says free-to-play, but it's clearly not.
Being a massive multiplayer online game, I completely understand the following phrases that I'm about to utter out of my mouth. Those of you that aren't familiar with MMOs, they charge you a subscription fee for an extensive amount of the game.
Not all, but
many.
many.
It's just like Netflix, where they charge you monthly to be able to watch anything you want on their platform.
Yeah, it's
Here,
kind of like that.
They do it in a video game. For example, they charge you to have a crafting bag which holds all of your smaller
That's what I just
materials
mentioned.
used for crafting, which frees up an enormous amount of space in your inventory. This
True.
does make the game a little bit easier, since you don't have to go back and forth city to quest area as much as if you were a free player. Absolutely absurd to me, but genius if you think about it. It really is. It's genius. Oh, I have an idea. Let's make free players spend longer getting through quests because of the simple fact that they're too afraid to miss out on possibly good loot since their inventory is full. And I know, before you say just delete one thing, what's it gonna hurt? My feelings, that's what. I'm an MMO hoarder, what can I say? Besides, the previous mentioned bogus scheme the business execs implemented in the game, I still enjoy playing the game, even though I gave into it and pay for a subscription. But hey, I'm willing to ignore all of that though, because the community in this game is amazing so far.
They're nice, yes.
And it got answered within the first 5.
You know what's interesting? That's actually true what he said. Like I had the other day some random dude come up to me and he just gave me 1 million gold. Can you imagine that? I just got gifted 1 million gold randomly by someone. I get invited to freaking player houses sometimes, and okay, you could argue that's also because I'm a content creator, but there are some people that don't know I'm a content creator and they meet me in game and they still invite me to their home and stuff. And yeah, it's like I know that there are like half chill people in there, and they're like those super end game players. They also sometimes don't have, I mean, they still have stuff to do, like Zero the PvP, for example. Sometimes they go for raids and stuff. But there are a lot of endgame players that are also just chilling and they enjoy like a nice talk with you. They will sometimes craft you gear, very good gear for free if you're a new player and stuff. Like there are a lot of like very, very nice people in ESO. That's true.
Minutes in the chat within the game. It just goes to show what can make and break a game, and what can make this one is the community. That might be a far stretch to say for some of you pro players out there, but I think you guys are cool. They even provided me with some sugary skulls for emergency healing if I needed. They were so nice too.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me playing. The beautiful people of Elder Scrolls Online. For a new player, I strongly recommend you get at least one friend or random person to play with you.
It's easy to make friends there.
It is
you just go to RP
MMORPG
spots.
after all. I totally didn't just shame the entire solo community, but hey, come on. What more do you want from me, huh? Look. Overall, it's a great game with simple controls, and I can't wait to get my hands on the first dungeon with some peeps I met online.
Ooh,
oh,
careful.
I forgot to mention, we have a guild in the game called Mighty Misfits, so if teamwork fits your fancy, you're sure to find someone on there to help you. Now to the fellow process geeks
should
out
really
there,
zoom
I
out.
wish you happy travels in the wondrous fantasy-scape of ESO. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and don't forget to support your favorite meat by subscribing to me for future videos. Now without further ado, I have some slaying to do.
Okay, so what he actually like hates about the game is how it actually treats players that just buy the game but don't subscribe, with like the inventory space and so on. And to be honest, I also hate this a lot. And he forgot actually one thing. There's something that is actually worse in Elder Scrolls Online. There's something a lot of people overlook, and each time I get any negative feedback about ESO, I never see this in those. And I'm gonna say it right now, what is one of the biggest issues in Elder Scrolls Online, and that is freaking riding for alts. So if you make a main character and you progress after a couple of weeks or months, and then you have finally maxed out, you have like pretty good CP, like champion points, so you can do like endgame content. You have one issue. You can only every day train your horse one time by 1 point, and you have speed, stamina, and carrying capacity, what also helps your inventory space. And if I'm not mistaken, it's 60 per one of those. And only every day you can spend like a little bit of gold. It was like 250 or 500 gold if I'm not mistaken, and you get 1 point into it. That means you get like 1 point in speed, you are 1 point faster. And if you max out on your main, your character that you currently play, and you want to make a new character on alt, you have to do this again. And since you can only buy one a day, and you get only a few of those kind of scrolls while leveling, you get maybe like 10 or 20 points in each from just leveling, right? So you still have to buy at least 40 to 50 points in each tree. So if you want to max your horse, it's probably going to take like 3 months or so on one character, maybe, depends. Depending if you want to carry capacity too. But what I usually go for at first is I max out completely speed and at least half the stamina. Because most of the time when you're riding, you don't deplete your stamina bar, but speed is very important. So first speed. Probably you go for like a spread of 2 point speed, 1 stamina, and then once you have maxed out speed, you have half your stamina full, and your end game fixed basically, right? But the problem is if you make an alt, you have to do this again. So you need 3 months or so to get your alt ready. So if you go to Zero Deal, you are as fast as your group mates, or if you're farming for freaking resources for crafting. So this is annoying. They should make it account wide. Because what that forces some players to do is to go to the crown store and freaking spend money on those scrolls that increase your riding points. So speed and stamina for your horse. And I think this really sucks. This is very, very bad. Of course, like what he criticized here with the inventory space sucks. And how it is too easy. Like this is my issue with most MMOs. Everything is too easy. I even thought like Final Fantasy XIV was too easy, to be honest. I would have wished for some more difficulty while leveling. Like, there are barely any modern MMOs that find the right difficulty level for new players. Like, everything is too easy in my opinion. But then again, I'm an experienced MMO player. I've been playing MMOs for years, so I get like in very, very quickly. But I find a lot too easy. New World was between easy and okay. They could have made it a bit more difficult, but one thing I like about New World, it was at least a bit more difficult than WoW for me. So yeah, that's already a good point about New World, but I find New World still too easy. So yeah, how do you guys feel about Elder Scrolls Online for those of you that have played it? What do you dislike about the game? Do you also think it's too easy and this kind of monetization system with like the inventory space and all sucks? I don't know. But for me, I'm good now because I have ESO Plus, but I feel for those free-to-play players out there that just wanna buy the game once and then play for free, not spend every month cash. But yeah, that's how it is. Like, a lot of companies wanna make money. If they can profit from you, they will find ways to profit from you. They will get you frustrated in any way possible, so you spend money on the game. That's the sad reality we live in. But yeah, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I will see you guys next time.